Hi, this is Bobbi from the Vespasian Warner Public Library District, and I'm here with another tale from the archive where we talk about objects and document our local history collection. Today we're going to talk about this wonderful photograph we have of the square. It was taken from the top of the third courthouse that used to be in the center of the square, the one many of you remember, and it is of the Ohio building and some buildings next to it on the northeast side of the square. The Ohio building is still standing. You can drive up to the square and see it today, but the buildings next to it are different. And the reason why is from a 1914 fire that engulfed a large section of the square. Fires were incredibly common in the 19th century and early 20th century. You had a lot of things that were powered by fire, lights, heat, a lot of work was done with fire, and there weren't the fire safety regulations and building codes that we have today. So you had a lot of very unsafe buildings, particularly in that part of the square, which was adjacent to Chicken Row, which I'm sure many of you can remember. Well, in 1914, the DaysDrugstore, which is right next to the Ohio building, caught fire on its awning. There were a couple of different theories about how that happened. The leading one was someone tossed a cigar out of a window and it caught the awning on fire. The fire was put out, no big deal, everyone continued on as normal. But then about an hour later, the entire building and the buildings next to it were engulfed in flames. The reason is a bit of something on fire, a bit of debris fell down into a grate that went down into the basement of the building, where it was believed it engulfed some old paint rags that were there because there was a paint shop, and everything went up in flames. The damage to the square from that fire was about $70,000 in 1914, which is over $2 million today, so it was pretty massive. But the Ohio building remained unscathed, and why is that? Just the year before, the owner of the Ohio building talked to the fire marshal about keeping her building safe since there were so many fires on that part of the square. And the fire marshal suggested that she install a brick firewall around her building. And that firewall, which was only a year old in 1914, is what saved her building. So an interesting little bit of history, and again, I love this photograph because it shows a lot of life on the square as well in an angle you don't normally see. And this was another stop that was part of our Founders Day Scavenger Hunt series. And if you want more information about that, you can see our video about the Founders Day Scavenger Hunt and the other videos in this series. So thank you for joining me from this tale from the archive, and I hope to see you soon.